Hey guys, just a little editorial note here for the beginning. When we recorded this, it did not sound amazing. We used what means we had available, and we do intend on upgrading and finding a much better sound even just by the next one, but for the time being, it does not sound amazing, but I really am happy with how it went with it being a first run and all, so I wanted to keep it. Thank you for checking out What Are We Talking About? Here's the pilot.
Fuck me, I guess. How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Well, not too much.
I wasn't asking you. That was a rhetorical question for the people listening. You gotta butt into every conversation anyways. How are you?
How's it going? We've never talked to you before, but hopefully we will. Many times. More again.
This is What Are We Talking About?
What are we talking about? Well, I, Mason Bell, and
Aubrey.
are, we're here to talk about stuff. We're here to talk about stuff and things. We have,
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things to talk about. Do we just want to jump right into the first one, or do you have anything?
What'd you bring for me today?
Oh, okay. So I figured to kick off very important number one first episode, I should bring in someone that's very, I don't know if important's the right word. I guess, like, part of the media and our, like, American culture, I guess. I could say that. He's very,
Certainly.
relevant. Maybe not. The first thing that I have brought in today is Kid Rock. Apparently, his full name is Robert James Ritchie. I don't know if I ever knew that before.
Robert James Ritchie. And how old is Kid Rock?
He was born in January of 1971, so...
Almost 50?
Oh shit, you can do math.
Yeah, I can do quick math, man.
I mean, look at that man. Does that man scream 50 to you, him and his fedora?
Honestly,
Look at that guy.
screams like I'm approaching late 50s.
Well, that was him in 2017, apparently, so...
Ooh,
All
that's
right, Kid
not
Rock.
looking good for Kid Rock.
Try a different hat.
Kid Rock's been pretty controversial as of late, if I recall, just in the past few years.
Yeah? Like, what has he been up to, honestly? Like, I don't...
I as far as, I don't want to, like, speak without having actual proof in front of me, but I believe that Kid Rock is a huge Trump supporter, and has made it exponentially clear in not a fun way.
I could definitely see how that's controversial.
Yeah, no, I used to actually love that Kid Rock song, the one that's like, it was 1989, my thoughts were short, my hair was long, caught somewhere between a boy and man. You know, what is that one? All Summer Long. That's what it is. That one. I used to love that song, but I just can't listen to it anymore without thinking about angry now Kid Rock.
Man, that is quite a sound wave you just put in there. Yeah, also, looking at his wiki page, I didn't know that he was a rapper either. Is that a recent thing? I don't remember him ever doing, I guess,
Wow.
Associated Acts.
He's associated with Lynyrd Skynyrd. Oh, I knew he was associated with Uncle Cracker.
Insane Clown Posse.
Are you familiar with Uncle Cracker?
Who's
Oh, actually, speaking of Insane Clown Posse and Kid Rock, I know a girl who is the niece of one of their managers.
Who?
They manages both and produces some music for him.
Like, here, in this town?
No, up in Michigan.
How the fuck do you know her?
We went to high school together, and that was one of the first things she told me. She was like, my uncle produces some of Kid Rock's music and manages him in Insane Clown Posse.
That's
And I was
wild.
like, what?
Was she a juggalo? Was she into the Insane Clown, the ISP?
She was. She didn't wear the
ICP?
makeup or anything. Oh my gosh, speaking of juggalos, have you seen the video of the guy from Insane Clown Posse with his daughter in the fursuit, and they're attacking that company for making cheap quality fursuits?
I don't believe I have, but there's a lot going on with what you just told me, and
Insane Clown Posse has a wild and rich history.
Yeah,
I will say that.
I mean, let's check it out here. Oh, style. What's in the style section? performance style is often described as a horoscope hip-hop. What the fuck is horoscope?
Horoscope hip-hop. Or
horrorcore hip-hop.
It's a subgenre of hip-hop music based on horror-themed and often darkly transgressive lyrical content and imagery. Quote Wikipedia.
What we got here? Other names: death rap, Memphis, derivative name Memphis rap. What the hell is that? Memphis hip hop, Memphis horrorcore. Okay. Early 1990s.
Like a really small subgenre for horror, because horrorcore is already a small subgenre that Insane Clown Posse kind of has the market on.
Well, apparently this is what the original name was. Like, this is where it came from back in the 90s. Artists associated with Memphis rap include T-Rock, C-Rock, Gangsta Pat, Project Pat, Tommy Wright III,
and DJ Spanish Fly. Let me tell you, DJ Spanish Fly, you need to rethink that name.
I would click on his wiki page, but it doesn't seem he has one. Shame.
Oof.
What the hell else do we have? There's not really a lot to say about it.
Despite largely staying underground, it had attained a cult following from MP3 blogs? Interesting.
Influencing rappers such as Little Ugly Mane, Denzel Curry.
Space Ghost Perp.
Wait, no, yeah. Space Ghost... Who's this guy?
Oh, he's an American rapper from Miami, Florida.
Okay, here we are. All right. Space Ghost Perp, also known as...
Marquise Wright.
Well, birth name, also known as Black Skull Dragon, also known as FG Money, also known as Little Birdman, also known as Marksy Monkey Rolly, a.k.a. Mar Dragon, a.k.a. Marley Money. Oh, God, I'm just gonna...
A.k.a. Marlisis, a.k.a. Messiah Benz, a.k.a. Money, a.k.a. Money Mendoza, a.k.a. Money Jordan, a.k.a. Perp, a.k.a. Purple Haze, a.k.a. SGP, a.k.a. Space Go Perp Deline Man, a.k.a. Space Ghost Perp Deline Plug, a.k.a. Space Ghost Perp. Also, you're incriminating yourself with the one that says Space Ghost Perp Deline Plug.
I mean, this man seems to have a lot of names, but I kind of like that they seem to actually work their way into one another. Like, it seems that he sort of just had a changing, consistent idea of what his brand was. I don't know. Like, first it was about dragons, and then birds, I guess, and then back to dragons.
I will say my favorite one has to be Space Ghost Perp spelled with no vowels, and instead replacing the vowels are just the letters V, C, X, XZTP, yeah, just honestly a bunch of nonsense, but it does clearly say Space Ghost Perp in weird letters.
Oh, also most recently Vamp Money.
Oh, Vamp Money.
I think that's probably the best of, okay, he was born in...
It says he's still presently active.
Okay, go you Vamp Money. Oh shit, Florida. Have you ever been to Florida?
Many times.
Same. Very same.
Inevitably, every time I go to Florida, I get my, seasonal hay fever as soon as I go there, and then I just spend the whole vacation time in Florida feeling terrible.
I mean, do you feel that may have to do with, the plants that they have there, or is that just sort of, what Florida itself, evokes?
Yeah, it could be the nature, but also, I'm allergic to trash, so...
Well... Anyway.
I would like to sincerely apologize to all Florida inhabitants. I mean, there's some... You ever read any of those crazy Florida Man headlines?
Well,
they're
sure.
always
I
doing
feel like
wild
it's hard
stuff.
Not to. Actually, I mean, I heard that the reason that you can actually, hear a lot of that stuff specifically from Florida is just because they have, a national law that makes, viewing that stuff legal, I guess. It's not private knowledge. You can see all the records and whatnot, even for that crazy shit.
Well, no, I mean, it's not always private. We get some headlines like that around in Arkansas, Yeah,
I mean, I guess. But, I mean, do you ever hear about any of the crazy shit that happens? There's no way it doesn't. There's still weird people here.
Well, yeah, but I mean, yeah, I suppose it's a little more hush-hush. That in Florida has a reputation for being wild like that, so it just gets blown up more.
I guess so. So what are we talking about, Aubrey? What you got for us? You really been talking up this first topic you wanted to bring in. I'm really, curious.
Something that all the listeners need to know about me now and from here forward is that I'm a big fan of reality TV.
Yeah, it's been real bad recently.
Big fan. There's nothing that makes me feel better than sitting at home alone in front of a TV watching strangers scream at each other on camera. And there's one show in particular that is what I think started my obsession with reality television, and it's a little show called Kid Nation.
One more time and get closer to the mic, please.
Kid Nation, that's right. If you're familiar with Kid Nation, then you already know where I'm going with this. Kid Nation, they essentially took, 40 kids? Yeah, 40 kids, and they sent them into this Arizona wilderness. So there was just a lot going on. Well, okay, it came out in 2007, so let me get this straight. This sounds wild that they would just let 40 kids go out into the desert ghost town unattended.
Yeah, it does.
But it was 2007, so it was a different time. I was about, how old was I? Like 9 around the time? Yeah. So I was about the age of some of these kids. And they essentially were doing survivor challenges. They made these kids kill a chicken to eat. They also divided the towns into different color groups. Those color groups competed to see who would be upper class, merchant class, cooks, and then lower class. And lower class had to clean all the outhouses, do all the laundry.
Okay, wait. I was gonna comment on the whole sort of making kids, like, learn how to, like, fend for themselves, especially with, like, killing animals. First of all, will a kid even know how to properly cook a chicken? But no, like, regardless of that. Upper, middle, and low. Wait, no, that's not okay. Like, what?
Yeah,
like,
no, teaching kids how terrible capitalism is at an early age.
And all the viewers as well. Why? Like...
Because it was 2007, you know? That's what everyone wanted to see. They wanted to see if the kids could live the American dream, pretty much.
On a deserted island?
Yeah, basically. It was actually a deserted movie set. It is what Bonanza City, the set of Kid Nation, was.
Yeah, sorry, I can't get anything to pull up on here.
That's totally fine. So the biggest thing that was surprising about Kid Nation was after this all came out and everyone was like, you know, hey, we're really worried about these children you sent out into the desert and then put on TV to capitalize off of.
Oh my God, Aubrey, that's gonna sound awful.
So they made the parents sign a waiver in which they signed off to any serious bodily injury, illness, or death, including, without limitation, general exposure of heat and cold, water hazards, crevices, cliffs and rock avalanches, encounters with wild or domesticated animals, and acts of God.
Interactions with wild animals? How was it?
Oh, there was a kid that chased a bull off.
Wasn't this a movie set? Why did they put a boar on the movie set?
I think it was just wildlife, honestly.
Were they really trying to set up, like, Lord of the Flies, like, dealio shit? Like, what the...
Right, but are we not concerned about how the fact that these parents literally signed off on their child's life?
Fuck, I guess it was 2007. What else was going on then? That was, like, right before the recession, right?
And to make it even better, there was also another clause, which I will read, quoting you here. I understand that if the minor chooses to enter an intimate relationship with another participant or any other person, I hereby assume any and all risks that may be associated with the relationship, including, without limitation, emotional distress, illness, sexually transmitted diseases, HIV, and pregnancy. These are children! We're talking about 8 to 16-year-olds.
That's... Yeah, so, like, how many kids signed up for this?
40 kids.
You were saying that there are 40 sets of mothers and fathers out there. Mothers and mothers, fathers and fathers, who knows? Really,
well,
whatever.
To be fair, 2 of the kids had the same set of parents. They were siblings.
Okay, then 39.
39 sets of parents,
39 sets of parents decided that was a good fucking idea.
Honestly, they probably were like, this is probably like terms and conditions, sweetie. We don't need to read it. Let's just sign.
I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say to that. That's fucking... was there more than one season of this? Was there...
No, there was only one season because there were some parents that did try to sue, even though legally they had no ground to stand on because they signed away their kids' rights. But a couple kids drank bleach. There was an accident in which there were some unlabeled bottles of bleach. The kids thought they were soda, started to drink them, but they did get medical attention and they were fine. Obviously, CBS didn't get sued because they covered their asses with those contracts. There was another parent that tried to sue because her daughter was trying to fry potatoes on set and burned part of her face with hot grease. It wasn't really that bad, but honestly, that's your kid's fault. She's the one making potatoes.
Where the fuck did she get the grease from?
The kids were provided with canned and some fresh food options. They had to cook all their own food for the entirety of the camp.
I don't understand. Like, they were offered food and shit, but then, like, they had to cut up their own chickens? I don't...
Okay, well, they gave them canned food, but they didn't really give them any good source of protein because they incorporated the killing the chicken concept second episode. Because they were like, hey, we didn't give you any protein, which is also awful. They didn't give them any real fresh fruit or vegetables until a later challenge where they could choose that or, I believe, go-karts. So they would really give them a choice of like, hey, do you want to live and be healthy, or do you want to get this thing that, is dangerous for everybody and it's going to make no one want to work? So it was really weird.
Hey, I got something to bring up here. I don't mean to derail anything here, but apparently as of 2018, there are currently 23.7 billion chickens. Worldwide, there are almost 24 billion chickens.
Listen, man, Tyson's got to make money.
I mean, yeah. Wait, okay, on the first paragraph, humans keep chicken primarily as a source of food and less commonly as pets. Originally raised for cockfighting for special ceremonies, chickens were not kept for food until the 4th or 2nd century of BC. What? So they were used for fighting before they were...
Yeah. I've seen them do that with geese before. In the movie, it was a movie about like old England and one of the queens, Queen Anne, I believe, and there were like a bunch of geese fighting happening in one of her courts in one of the scenes, and I remember being like, what? But yeah, I have heard of people keeping chickens as pets, as weird as that sounds.
Oh, I mean, I feel like that's becoming like a more and more common thing recently too, and honestly,
people that keep chickens as pets don't just like chickens, they're obsessed with chickens.
I mean... You don't know if that's the case for everyone.
Oh, no. You got a chicken, you probably own a chicken purse, a pair of chicken pants, a chicken apron.
So are you saying that all chicken girls are pretty much the same thing as horse girls then?
Chicken girls are nowhere near as bad as horse girls. Horse girls, they are never going to love you as much as they love that horse. That's the way it goes, and anyone who's been loved by a horse girl can definitely tell you that I'm
Okay, so yeah, the Horse Girl movie that came out.
But we're totally separate from my opinion on horse girls.
Yeah, wait, did you actually watch that?
No, I've seen the trailer, but I just haven't gotten around to watching it because it seems really serious.
American psychological drama film directed by Jeff Bainey. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
I was just surprised Alison Brie was in it because it seems really serious, and she's such a funny actress. She does Diane on BoJack Horseman, and she was in Community.
Oh, wow. Okay.
She's really, really great.
I mean, I can read a little bit of the plot here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sarah is a shy, introverted young woman who lives a quiet life and works at a craft store.
Oh, that would be the dream.
In her spare time, mother, who died by suicide a year before, and frequents the horse stable for her former horse, Willow. Oh. Her mom was the horse girl. Sorry, is that insensitive? I don't...
Is it? Was her mom the horse girl?
Sarah's... Okay. Is boarded and where she rode as a in a childhood. Okay.
Oh, no, so her mom was a horse girl, but so was she.
Okay. Oh, wait.
On Sarah's birthday,
When her roommate Nikki finds Sarah home alone on her birthday, she invites Darren, her boyfriend, Brian's roommate, over for a double date. Does she know who Brian is? This seems like a weird... The four smoke marijuana and have drinks. Sarah listens eagerly as Darren reveals details about himself and his past relationship. Okay, so it's Darren, the boy that's just trying to get hooked up there, I guess. Weird. After he leaves, Sarah has a bizarre dream in which she is lying in a white room with a man and a woman. Okay, so apparently it is not about a horse girl then. I'm not sure. Also, is that what they think marijuana does to people?
I don't know. I've always been really interested in how they portray marijuana in the media.
The devil's lettuce.
Yeah, I suppose, honestly, for me, what I have found to be, the best representation is that 70s show. The scenes where they're smoking in the basement but they never show them smoking. It's just them with the camera turning in like a circle, and they're just surrounded by smoke. And I always thought that was the best representation of people being high, because they were just talking about dumb stuff and then laughing and forgetting what they were talking about, you know?
Huh. You know, we need to... You still need to show me some of that show sometime. I've seen, like, 2 episodes of it. Oh. Well, I think I've seen that one.
That 70s show is incredible. I mean, they get high in every episode. It's like, it's a huge thing, because the show is supposed to take place in the 70s. They even had Tommy Chong of Cheech and Chong on that 70s show as a character for a while. Which,
really?
Speaking of Tommy Chong, I'm going to do a little research. He was cellmates with someone and convinced them to write a book about their crime.
Wait, no, he got his cellmate? Are you saying that he got his cellmate
he got his cellmate
to write a tell-all book about his own crime or about his crime?
Oh, yes! The Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Belfort. When Jordan Belfort was in prison, he shared a cell with Tommy Chong, and Tommy Chong convinced him to write The Wolf of Wall Street, which is what became the iconic movie we all know today.
Leo, please. Leonardo, please. Yes, really, him, of all...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess if anybody's gonna talk it out of you, might as well be Mr. Chong.
He was if you're curious about why Tommy Chong was in prison, he was in serving a 9-month sentence for selling drug paraphernalia, bongs in particular.
Wait, so you're saying that the amount, like, he was only there for 9 months? They were cellmates for only 9 months, and he convinced him in that amount of time?
Yeah, he says that Belfort's arrival was like Elvis coming to jail, and that his roommate spent his days playing tennis, backgammon, and cleverly hiring other inmates to do his chores for him.
Wow, okay.
You're part of an elite gang. That's what he said.
Oh boy.
I mean, well, when you're famous and you're in prison, you know, you get a certain amount of special treatment.
When you're kind of, like, famous for doing illegal things, too, for sure, I bet you.
Well, it depends, because if you murdered a kid,
or
committed any sexual crime against a kid, they would cut you in prison.
Well, I mean...
you know, and I appreciate that. I find it to be, you know, like a warmth in my heart, knowing that those people do not do well in prison. Because even the worst of the worst people acknowledge that those people are the worst.
And I guess that's not really what I meant. I meant more so someone who sort of, you know, got their fame and fortune from doing...
Yeah, well, I meant more like in a sense of, like, they do get special treatment from the government in prison because they have to take special care not to screw up and get that person hurt, because it would come down on them in the media, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black does a great representation of that in some of their later seasons with the character Judy King.
Still need to see more of that show, too.
In my opinion, I believe Judy King is kind of based around Paula Deen, because she's a Southern cooking lady.
Okay.
So it's really interesting to see her in prison and how they treat her differently, even how the inmates treat her differently. But that's a whole other topic. Orange is the New Black is... Oh, it's delightful.
How many seasons of it are there now?
They finished their last season last year, I believe.
Oh, they actually ended it. Okay.
Yeah, and my boyfriend and I just cried through the whole last episode. It was, I mean, but it's a heartbreaking show that shows a lot of what the women's prison system at least looks like. And especially at the last season they tackle the ICE subject.
Oh, yes, I think
that was really, really great.
I think I saw you watching some of those.
To have a show cover such a touchy subject like that, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I guess I had one other thing that I kind of wanted to talk about while we're at it. It is a kind of drink. Specifically, it is the cocktail known as the Martini. I'm having trouble pulling it up because there are apparently a lot of things called Martini.
I mean, yeah, a small guy named Martin, you call him Martini.
Oh, I was probably just going to, cut this out until I actually pulled up the thing.
Did you hear my joke?
Okay, yes, the Martini. It is a cocktail made with gin and vermouth. Well, at least it used to be a cocktail made with gin and vermouth.
What do you make it with now?
Well, pretty much the same recipe. I read this bartending handbook, sometime last year. It had, this big, long history of, it used to be, a sixth of vermouth, or, they had, this different portioning for it. But, as time has gone on, people have been finding ways to put as little vermouth as they can with their gin as possible. It has
Why?
gotten to the point where like they would just put like a tiny bit in to like make it like extra dry, or they would just like rub the inside of the glass with vermouth to sort of just like aerate it in there, I guess, to add it in that way.
What?
They've also
What
just
even?
like
What is vermouth?
vermouth. I can pull it up. Oh, okay. Aromized fortified wine flavored with various botanicals. Okay, so
Okay.
it's actually a grape-based wine. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly used for a lot of really old cocktails like Martini, Manhattan. I don't know what some of these other
I'm a
ones-
big gin drinker, but I've never had a martini.
They also, a couple other things they do, they'll like, I guess, drip the ice cubes in vermouth and then put them into the glass. I think the funniest one I ever heard though was like there was apparently one case of these people that would just like put a little put it in a spritzer bottle and then just like spritz that over the drink after they finish. I don't know, it's a weird phenomenon. I guess people just really, really like gin and want to try to get that into their bodies as fast as possible.
Yeah, I suppose.
Where is vermouth from, though? Like, and I think I'm pronouncing that right. Produced by starting with a base of neutral grape wine or unfermented wine must. That's highlighted.
Must.
Must.
What is wine must?
I have it right here. Freshly crushed fruit juice that contains the skin, seeds, and stems from fruit.
Oh, so it's like grape juice with all the pulp.
Yeah, it's like grape juice with pulp. I hate that.
Ew.
Getting back to it, each manufacturer adds additional alcohol and proprietary mixtures of dry ingredients consisting of herbs, roots, and barks to the base wine. Base wine plus spirits or spirit only, which may be redistilled before adding the wine. Okay, vermouth is apparently a very, very complicated drink to make. Well, flavoring. Well, I guess I don't know what you'd call it. I don't know if people actually just drink vermouth straight. That'd be pretty wild. I mean, I'd try it.
Yeah, I feel like I need to try a couple different martinis. They just look so good in a modest proposal, a simple proposal with Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick.
Well, you gotta let me have your olives, though, because I know you hate olives.
Oh, I'm not an olive gal, but when I was a kid, I'd eat them off my fingers. I loved them. But
Black
they're just
one?
so salty. Ooh,
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah. Wait, what does it mean by barks? One moment here, I'm gonna back it up for a hot sec, like, hey guys, what did you mean by barks? Okay, no, yeah. I'm pulling it up. The page you brought me to, it literally does mean just straight up bark from trees.
Interesting.
I don't know botanical description, no. Uses. Corks. Yeah, there's cork. Inner bark for some trees is edible. Bark bread made from rye? Wait, what?
Interesting.
Made from rye, which is toasted and ground innermost layer of bark of Scots pine and birch is added. Weird. They put bark in their bread?
Well, I mean, think about it. When people were first trying to figure out how to cook, I'm sure they were trying to put all kinds of crap in stuff. I'm sure salad was just grass.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you gotta think about it. Like, there's gotta be a first person to do any of those things. Like, you know, first person to stick their hand in a honey hive. I mean, the first person who tugs on a cow's tit. I mean, it's gotta be a
Exactly.
first person to try everything. Guess there was also a first person to put bread and bark together.
And you know what? I bet it's not that bad. It has
You
a
know what?
good,
Yeah.
like, piney taste.
It's rye bread too, apparently.
Ooh!
Like, that's
It's choice.
have a nice bark Reuben. Oh boy. Well, I don't really have anything else to talk about. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like this is...
we were just kind of like trying to test things out here, but I mean, if we talked about some stuff and things.
stuff and things, and honestly, that's what we came here to do, is talk about that stuff and talk about those things.
Talk about the stuff and things and hopefully be entertaining at the same time. But you know what? I mean, I guess that part's not quite for us to judge.
Yeah. Alright, well,
Yeah,
we'll see you next time.
I guess this does it. Thanks for listening. Oh wait, we need like a stinger, to like a thing to say at the very end that's like funny or something.
And that's what we were talking about. I don't know.
That's terrible. We're gonna workshop that. Bye. No.
Bye, no.
Okay. Okay, I'll go.